Well, our approach to put together that roster against Ecuador is mainly to see, you know, younger players coming into the senior national team environment and proving their point. You know, we want to continue a little bit that that energy that was created in Czech Republic in Prague, you know, with that win overseas, and continue to see, you know, how far these young players can take it. You know, that way we purposely left quite a few players out. More, I would call them not old, I call them more experienced players, purposely because we want to give the younger generation a chance to break in. That way, you know, players like Kyle Beckerman, Brad Davis, Chris Wondolowski, you know, they are not on this roster, not because they're not part anymore of the senior national team, simply because, you know, we want to now see the youngsters coming through and making their point. I think for us it's important that we always mix things up, and right now, you know, we're mixing things up a little bit with MLS. We mix things up with players that are coming from overseas, but they are not as established yet as we would like them to be. So maybe we let, you know, a few ones go after the Friday game, go back to Europe and have a whole week of preparation for your next game. Bring in some MLS players to fill in, you know, the blank, and continue kind of to grow this culture of competition, but also of accountability. We want them to understand that they learn to be accountable for everything they do, no matter where they come from, whatever their background is. And it's exciting when you see young players coming in. They kind of look at you with big eyes and yeah, have many questions. And you have some more experienced players coming in. Obviously, they know how, you know, things are, and they just played a World Cup, and you see them then communicating. You see them then, you know, getting a better understanding of what it takes going forward. You know, for us, it's very exciting to be to start a new cycle with many kind of exciting competitions coming up on the horizon. You know, next year the Gold Cup, then the Olympics in 2016, which we have a huge focus on. Obviously the Copa America in the United States in 2016, and goes on to 2017 Confederations Cup, if we do our job with the Gold Cup, and then the World Cup in Russia 2018, you know. So now it's our job to connect the different age groups with each other, to make the younger ones, the 18, 19, 20-year-olds understand, you know, that time will fly by, and that you have to understand that moment in time when you get an opportunity to take that opportunity, not just wasting it. You know, for the more experienced players, it's a signal, shoot, you know, the younger ones are breaking in, they want to steal my spot. So it's about building a new hierarchy of the senior national team, because after every World Cup is time to start fresh again. And so whatever, you know, the more experienced, the older ones did, deserves a lot of respect. But in another way, it's also done. It's kind of, it's a finished element. So they need to be on their toes, otherwise the younger ones shoot by them and claim their spots. Well, we're looking forward to young players, or general a group of players that bring a lot of energy to the table, that really enjoy what they're doing. You know, they want to prove a point, but all in a team context. So we want them to have a great team chemistry, you know, to support each other and do everything as a team, you know, going forward as a team, defending as a team, and expressing themselves obviously as well, you know, and enjoy those two games now on that stage. Well, first of all, a call up for the senior national team is something very special, and when we do that, you know, we also have the feeling that the player deserves it, you know, because of certain element that he brings to the table. Now, Miguel, in his game, he may be a little bit of a late bloomer, coming now through the NASL system, did tremendously well the whole season there. You know, we had him watched a couple of times, other players as well in the NASL. They might go a different path than coming through the MLS or through a European club or through a Mexican club. but he's kind of maybe a good example of, you know, that there are different ways to get it to make it all the way to the top where the senior national team level is. He knows he has to prove it then, you know. So he has tremendous skill, he has speed, he has an engine, he can take people on, he keeps, you know, everybody on their toes and keeps them very busy. Now the tempo and the pace obviously in every league is different, and especially is different to the international level. So this now gives him over the next couple of days a really good feeling to what he has to work for in the future time. You know, when he trains with us, when he maybe even plays with us, he understands now, okay, this is what is requested on the international stage. So I go back to my club, Minnesota United, and I want to do that now every day, and maybe extra shifts, you know, when the other guys are not training. So I think that message is very important to everyone out there, you know, that becomes an adult player, that based on the workload they're putting in, based on what they bring to the table with talent and their work ethic, anything can happen, anything is possible. So our job as national team coaches is to find that talent and to help them understand their next choices, their next opportunities, and I think it's exciting.